ministry out here locally in Vegas through our church, and one of the things that we do, or one of the things that I was actually doing for a while is exactly what you said, is teaching the Bible through chess and the whole move, counter move. And I'm glad you put it like that because, like you said, when you start to look at it like that, the Bible takes on a whole different aspect. And one of the things that stands out to me throughout history, getting back on the alien subject, the serpent, then you have the Anunnaki, the Sumerians, some of those figurines look like serpents. You have, you mentioned earlier, the South American deities that look like the feathered serpents. And you have other appearances of serpents throughout history, and now in modern times you have these serpentine creatures we call the reptilians.
Right.
And I know the Bible talks about the angel, the devil appears as an angel of light. Now, do you think this serpentine form is the devil's actual form, and I guess the Pleiadian form would be his transformed state? Do you believe these beings may be one and the same, sort of like V presents them, or do you believe that these are different classes of fallen angels appearing to mankind?
Well, we're not sure what they look like, but yes, I believe that the enemy is a shapeshifter. I believe that they can shift as an angel of light, or essentially anything else that they want to. They can appear as in pretty much any form that they want to. Fallen angels. The demons are different than fallen angels, different class. They're the disembodied spirits of a Nephilim. So in order for them to manifest, they have to have something to possess. We know that. Jesus shows us that very explicitly when he casts out the demons from the man in the tombs. And they beg him not to cast us. Who are you? Legion. Don't cast us in their booths. Okay, can we go into the herd of swine? Sure, go over there. They need something to inhabit, to manifest in this dimension. So the enemy, Lucifer, Satan, has created this three-dimensional bio-bodysuit, which the Greys, that's what the Greys are. The demons interface with these bodies that are clones that the enemy has created, and that's how they move about on this planet. But they are not fallen angels. The fallen angels appear as reptilian most of the time, and that may, in fact, be their true form. And what's interesting is this. If you're a created being, if you're an angel, and you don't eat food, you don't need food to survive. What you need is the light. You need to be in the presence of the throne room. That's your sustenance. And then you're cast out down into the second heaven, where you can't get that anymore. Might your body begin to morph, or were you actually cursed? When it talks about in the book of Enoch, it says that to watchers, their mouths were drawn tight; they were unable to speak, and we see that a lot in ufology, where these entities only communicate telepathically. Only telepathically. Right. There's no mouth being moved. So it's like, look, there's a lot of stuff here which is really strange. Again, I don't have all the answers. I've connected some of the dots, but certainly not all of them. And we're moving into a realm which I don't have all the answers to. So whether or not their true form is reptilian remains to be seen. They certainly could shapeshift into that. I lean I sort of believe, like you do, that I think you do, that that the reptilian look is what they really look like, the fallen ones. That's their true form. Could be wrong, but that's what I've sort of come down on.
I'm with you.
What was it? On that. What was it that Eve saw? I mean, was she speaking to some type of reptilian being in the garden, or a talking snake? I mean, it's always wondered about that. Remember we talked about that, Mr. Whatever it is that she saw or she encountered, it wasn't strange to her.
Well, that might have been sort of like some sort of a dragon creature, where I think it's in Isaiah where it talks about what he looked like, the anointed cherub with all the jewels and all this other stuff.
Right.
Maybe that's what she saw, and then it was because it says the serpent. So, the talking snake thing. But what are we really looking at here? And, no one, it's speculation, even with the rabbis. I mean, it's a lot of different speculation. We're not really told. We don't get a clear picture of what it looked like. Was it some sort of dragon? Very possibly. We don't know. But we do know this, that the same lie that was given to Eve is now given to us. You will be like God. You will be like God. And that is the same nonsense we keep hearing today. Shirley MacLaine, standing on the beach in Malibu. I am God. I am God. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shirley, I got news for you. You're not.
Yeah, I seem to think that Hollywood has a direct assault on Yeshua and Oprah Winfrey and her lead in her charge with the whole New Age thing, and you
right,
know,
absolutely,
not the only way, and I hear these stars get up and say, I definitely am not thanking Jesus for this award that I just won and stuff that I see. I think it's amazing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I clearly see it, you know, and like what you guys were talking about with the propaganda and stuff like that. It goes hand in hand with, you know, as far as what I see.
I have another question from a user on AIM. He wants to know if you think that the abyss is space.
The abyss is safe?
Yeah, he wants to know how do you feel about that if the abyss is outer space.
Oh, the abuso is space. I see what you said. Well, that's really good food for thought. Well, you know, what does the guidebook tells us? The guidebook tells us that it's at the abuso, the abyss is opened up, and out of this comes, you know, these hordes. And by the way, I believe that they're literal. I don't believe that that's some nice allegory or metaphor. I believe that those creatures that come out are, you know, genetically manipulated demons or creatures created by the enemy himself. The question is, when it says men fainting from fear from what is coming on the earth, that seems to imply coming on the earth from outside the earth. Could this, in fact, tie in with exactly what the caller is saying, asking? Could the abuso mean some sort of opening between the dimensions where these entities are trapped, or is it something similar to when we know Yahshua descends into the bowels of the earth? Is that literal? And he goes to Tartarus and he preaches. It's actually a proclamation to the chained angels, which are there from the flood, saying that, you know, the price has been paid, you're defeated. Which, I mean, it's a proclamation. So he descends deliberately into this place, and where that place is open for grabs, isn't it? I mean, no one knows. I mean, you know, does it somehow link back to men fainting from fear from what's coming on the earth? Are they afraid because the abuso was open and the abuso is actually out in space someplace, like a black hole which opens up and it's some sort of a dimension? Great science fiction story. Or is it in the bowels of the earth that we just don't understand where it is? I mean, has it been sort of sealed up like when we saw the mummy, you know, that whole deal? Is it something similar to that? And these are questions that, you know, I know several. We just talked about two positions that one could take. The other position would be that it's an allegory for something else, which I don't believe. I believe in a literal translation. So is it in the earth, the bowels of the earth, or is it out in space? Don't know. But both, I think, are viable positions.
All right. You mentioned your radio show earlier. How long have you been doing the radio show? What nights and times, and how do people tune in?
The best place to get it is on my blog, because I usually link to it, or on my website. There's definitely a link to it there, lamarzulli.net, lamarzulli.net. You can also check out all of our DVDs and books and all sorts of other good stuff which we're selling. Monthly news magazine, Acceleration Radio, which is what it's called, comes on Wednesday night from 7 to 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's a 2-hour show, and we're about to go it's been 1 hour, but we're about to go 2 hours now. Next week will be our first 2-hour show. And we're kind of excited about that. We've been number one on internet